There's a stage in trading that almost no one survives, and it's not the one you think. It's not the early losses or the first blown account. It's the stage that comes after you've learned enough to know better, but before you're good enough to win consistently. It's the stage where progress becomes invisible, where effort feels wasted, and where walking away seems like the smartest thing you could possibly do. This is the hard stage you must survive before winning big, and if you don't understand what's happening to you right now, you'll quit just like everyone else does, right before everything was about to change. Let me tell you what this stage actually feels like, because most people describe it wrong. They call it a plateau or a rough patch, but those words don't capture the psychological weight of what's really happening. This is the stage where you wake up and question everything. You open your charts and feel a wave of exhaustion before you even place a trade. You know the rules. You've written them down. You've studied them. You've promised yourself 1,000 times that you'll follow them. And yet, when the moment comes, when real money is on the line and the candles are moving, something else takes over. Your hand moves faster than your mind. You enter too early. You exit too late. You break the very rule you swore you wouldn't break, and you watch it happen as if you're a passenger in your own body. This isn't ignorance anymore. This is something much harder to face. You can see your mistakes in real time. Sometimes you see them coming before you even make them. You know you're about to chase that trade. You know you're about to move your stop loss. You know you're entering out of fear or greed or boredom, and still, you do it. That gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it becomes the most exhausting place you've ever lived. It's like being trapped in a room where you can see the door, but your body refuses to walk through it. You start to wonder if something is fundamentally broken inside you. Maybe you don't have the discipline. Maybe you're not cut out for this. Maybe everyone else has some internal wiring that you just don't have. And the worst part is that this stage doesn't announce itself. There's no sign that says you've entered the hard stage, no warning that you're about to spend months or even years in this psychological prison. You just wake up one day and realize that despite all your learning, despite all your effort, you're still not consistent. You're still making the same emotional mistakes. You're still losing money in ways that feel completely avoidable. The pain of this stage isn't the pain of not knowing. It's the pain of knowing exactly what you should do and watching yourself fail to do it over and over again. I want you to understand something that no one tells you when you start trading. This stage exists for everyone. It's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's not proof that you lack talent or intelligence or discipline. This stage exists because trading isn't just about learning a skill. It's about becoming a different person. You're trying to rewire your entire nervous system to operate in a way that goes against millions of years of human evolution. Your brain was designed to seek immediate rewards, avoid uncertainty, and react emotionally to threats. Trading demands the exact opposite. It demands that you delay gratification, embrace uncertainty, and stay calm when your money is disappearing in front of your eyes. Think about what you're actually asking your mind to do. You're asking it to sit still when every instinct is screaming at you to act. You're asking it to take a loss without trying to win the money back immediately. You're asking it to follow a rule even when breaking that rule feels like it would solve everything. You're asking it to trust a process that hasn't proven itself yet, to believe in an edge you can't fully see, to keep showing up day after day, even when the results make it look like you're going backwards. This isn't a technical challenge. This is an identity shift. And identity shifts are messy, slow, and painful. Let me paint you a picture of what this stage actually looks like in the day-to-day reality of trading. You sit down at your desk in the morning with good intentions. You've reviewed your plan. You've identified your setups. You've told yourself that today will be different. Today you'll be patient. Today you'll follow the rules. The market opens and for the first hour, you're calm. You're watching. You're waiting. Then you see a move. It's not quite your setup, but it's close. It's moving fast and you feel that pull. That magnetic force that says if you don't get in right now, you're going to miss it. Your rational mind knows you should wait. Your rules say this isn't the entry. But your emotional mind is louder. It's showing you images of profits you could have made, trades you missed last week, the account balance you want to see. So you enter. And the moment you do, you feel it. That sinking feeling. That quiet voice that says you just broke your rule again. Maybe the trade works out. Maybe you get lucky and it moves in your direction and you close it for a small win. But that win doesn't feel like a victory. It feels like a poison because now your brain has been rewarded for breaking the rule. Now it has evidence that sometimes breaking the rule works. And that makes it even harder to follow the rule next time. Or maybe the trade goes against you immediately. Maybe you watch your stop loss get hit and you feel that familiar burn of frustration. You knew better. You saw it coming. And still you did it. Now you're down money and you're angry, not just at the market but at yourself. And when you're angry, what do? You look for another trade. You tell yourself you just need to make back what you lost. You tell yourself that the next one will be clean, that you'll follow the rules this time. But you're not looking for a good trade. You're looking for relief. You're looking for a way to stop feeling like a failure. So you enter again, and the hole gets deeper. By the end of the day, you're exhausted. You've taken 6 trades when your plan said to take 2. You've broken 4 rules. You've made back some of the money, but you've lost more of your confidence. You close your laptop and you sit there in the silence and you feel the weight of it all. The weight of knowing better and still not doing better. The weight of effort that doesn't match results. The weight of wondering how long you can keep doing this before you finally admit that maybe it's just not going to work for you. This is the hard stage. And here's what makes it so dangerous. This stage feels like failure even though it's not. It feels like you should be further along by now. You look at how much time you've invested, how much money you've spent on courses and books and software, how many hours you've spent staring at charts and journaling and reviewing trades. You look at all of that effort and you compare it to your results, and the math doesn't add up. You feel like you've been lied to. Like everyone who said trading is learnable was selling you something. Like the people posting their wins and their funded accounts and their payout screenshots somehow have access to something you don't. And that's when the trap closes. Because once you start believing that the problem is you, that you're somehow fundamentally different from the people who succeed, quitting starts to feel like wisdom. It starts to feel like self-awareness. You tell yourself that you gave it a real shot. You tell yourself that not everyone is meant to be a trader. You tell yourself that it's better to move on now before you waste any more time or money. And on the surface, that sounds mature. It sounds responsible. But here's the truth that almost no one understands. You're not quitting because trading is impossible. You're quitting because this exact moment, this exact feeling, is the final test. And most people fail it not because they can't trade, but because they don't know they're being tested. Let me tell you what's actually happening beneath the surface during this stage. Because if you can see it, you can survive it. Right now, your brain is in a war with itself. On one side, you have your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic, planning, and long-term thinking. This is the part that knows the rules, that understands risk management, that wants to be disciplined. On the other side, you have your limbic system, the ancient part of your brain that's responsible for emotions, impulses, and survival. This is the part that feels fear when you're losing money, that feels greed when you see a big move, that screams at you to do something, anything, to make the discomfort stop. When you first started trading, your prefrontal cortex was in control most of the time because the stakes felt lower. You were learning. You were experimenting. Losses didn't hurt as much because you expected them. But now, you care. Now you've invested real time and real money and real emotion. Now every trade carries weight. Now your limbic system is activated, and when it's activated, it's stronger than your logic. It hijacks your decision-making. It makes you chase trades you shouldn't take. It makes you exit winners too early and hold losers too long. It makes you break rules that you know you should follow. And the more this happens, the more frustrated you get, and the more frustrated you get, the more active your limbic system becomes. It's a cycle that feeds itself. But here's what you need to understand. This cycle is not permanent. It's a phase. Your brain is adapting. Every time you feel that impulse to break a rule and you resist it, you're strengthening the neural pathways that support discipline. Every time you take a loss and you don't immediately try to make it back, you're teaching your nervous system that uncertainty is survivable. Every time you follow your process, even when it doesn't feel good, you're building the psychological foundation that consistency requires. The problem is that this adaptation takes time. It takes repetition. And it doesn't give you immediate feedback. You don't wake up one day and suddenly feel disciplined. It happens slowly, invisibly, beneath your conscious awareness. And because you can't see it happening, you assume it's not happening at all. This is why most traders quit during this stage. They're looking for external proof of progress. They want to see it in their account balance, in their win rate, in their equity curve. But the progress that matters most right now is internal. It's in how you respond to a losing streak. It's in how quickly you let go of a mistake. It's in how you talk to yourself after a bad trade. It's in the space between the impulse and the action, and whether that space is getting wider. These changes are real, but they're not visible in your profit and loss. They're structural. They're foundational. And they're absolutely necessary. Let me give you a different way to think about this. Imagine you're learning to play the piano. In the beginning, you're excited. You're learning chords, you're playing simple songs, and you can hear yourself getting better. Every week you sound a little less clumsy. But then you hit a point where you want to play something more complex. Something that requires your hands to move independently. Something that demands coordination you don't have yet. You practice the same passage over and over. Your fingers stumble, you miss notes. You get frustrated. From the outside, it looks like you're not improving. It sounds like you're stuck. But inside your brain, something incredible is happening. New neural pathways are forming. Your motor cortex is reorganizing. Your muscle memory is developing. You can't hear it yet, but the foundation for mastery is being built. Trading works the same way. Right now, you're in that phase where your hands keep stumbling. You know the song. You can see the notes. But your execution doesn't match your knowledge. And it won't, not yet, because your brain is still wiring the pathways that make execution automatic. This isn't a flaw in you. It's a feature of how skill development works. The gap between knowledge and execution is where mastery is forged. It's uncomfortable. It's frustrating. It feels like failure. But it's not. It's the work. And the only way out is through. So what does surviving this stage actually look like? How do you endure the frustration, the self-doubt, the emotional exhaustion without quitting or burning out? The answer is simpler than you think, but it's not easy. You survive this stage by changing what you measure. Right now, you're measuring success by outcomes. Did you make money today? Was this week profitable? Is your account growing? Those are the questions that are killing you because in this stage, the answers are inconsistent. The market doesn't reward you in a straight line. It doesn't care about your timeline. So when you tie your sense of progress to profits, you create a feedback loop that destroys your confidence. Instead, you need to measure process. Did you follow your rules today? Did you take only the trades that met your criteria? Did you manage your risk correctly? Did you journal your trades? Did you avoid revenge trading after a loss? These are the questions that matter because these are the things you can control. When you start measuring yourself by your process instead of your profits, something shifts. You stop feeling like a failure after a losing day because you can look at your behavior and see that you executed correctly. You start building a different kind of confidence, one that's based on discipline rather than results. And that confidence doesn't evaporate when the market takes your money because it's not dependent on the market. It's dependent on you. This is the psychological shift that changes everything. When you stop needing the market to validate you, when you stop looking for proof that you're good enough in your account balance, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster that's been destroying you. You start to see losses as part of the cost of doing business rather than personal failures. You start to see wins as confirmation that your process works rather than validation of your worth. You start to detach your identity from individual trades and attach it to the consistency of your behavior. And that detachment is what allows discipline to become automatic. But let me be very clear about something. This shift doesn't happen because you decide to think differently. It happens because you practice thinking differently, day after day, trade after trade, until it becomes your default. It happens because you keep showing up even when you don't feel like it. It happens because you follow your rules even when breaking them feels easier. It happens because you stay in the game long enough for your brain to adapt, for your nervous system to recalibrate, for your psychology to catch up to your knowledge. And here's the part that no one talks about. The hard stage doesn't end because you suddenly become good at trading. It ends because you become good at being a trader. There's a difference. Being good at trading means you can analyze charts and identify setups and manage risk. Being good at being a trader means you can do all of that under pressure, under uncertainty, under the weight of real money and real emotions. It means you've developed the psychological infrastructure that allows you to execute your edge consistently regardless of how you feel. And that infrastructure is built during this stage, slowly, painfully, invisibly, through repetition and discipline and survival. I need you to understand something that might be hard to accept right now. The hard stage is not holding you back. It's preparing you. It's not testing whether you're worthy of success. It's training you to handle success when it comes. Because here's what happens to traders who skip this stage, who get lucky early, who find consistency before they've built the psychological foundation. They blow up. They get overconfident. They increase their risk too fast. They abandon their process because they think they've figured it out. And then the market humbles them hard. They lose everything because their psychology was never stress tested. Their discipline was never forged under pressure. Their identity was never separated from their outcomes. You, on the other hand, are being forged right now. Every time you resist the urge to revenge trade, you're forging discipline. Every time you take a loss and stay calm, you're forging emotional control. Every time you follow your process, even when it doesn't feel rewarding, you're forging the identity of a professional trader. You don't see it yet because the results haven't caught up, but the person you're becoming is stronger than the person you were when you started. And that strength is what will carry you through the inevitable challenges that come with long-term trading. Let me tell you what happens when you survive this stage correctly. One day, and you won't be able to pinpoint exactly when, you'll notice something different. You'll sit down at your charts and you won't feel that desperate need to trade. You'll see a setup that's almost right, but not quite, and you'll close the chart without entering. You'll take a loss and you won't feel the urge to immediately make it back. You'll follow your rules not because you're forcing yourself to, but because it feels natural. You won't remember making a conscious decision to change. It will just happen, quietly, like learning to ride a bike. One day you were wobbling, and the next day you were balanced, and you couldn't explain how it happened. It just did. This is what crossing into consistency feels like. It doesn't feel like a breakthrough. It feels like a quiet settling, like your internal world finally aligning with your external actions. Your confidence stops coming from wins and starts coming from knowing that you can handle whatever the market throws at you. Your discipline stops being something you have to force and starts being something you just do. Your relationship with trading shifts from a battle to a practice, from a test to a craft. And your results start to reflect that shift, not immediately, not perfectly, but consistently over time. But here's the final truth you need to hear. You only get to that place by surviving this place. There is no shortcut. There is no strategy or indicator or course that will let you skip the hard stage. Everyone who becomes consistently profitable goes through this. Everyone. The only difference between the ones who make it and the ones who don't is that the ones who make it understood what was happening. They understood that the frustration was part of the process, not proof that they were failing. They understood that the gap between knowledge and execution was where the real work was happening. They understood that discipline is built through repetition under pressure, not through inspiration or motivation. So, if you're in the hard stage right now, if you're feeling like you should be further along, if you're questioning whether you have what it takes, I need you to hear this. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. The confusion you feel, the frustration, the self-doubt, they're not signs that you're broken. They're signs that you're in the process. They're signs that your brain is adapting, that your psychology is being forged, that you're becoming the kind of trader who can win not just once but repeatedly. This stage is not your enemy. It's your training ground, and the only way you fail is if you quit before the training is complete. The hard stage you must survive before winning big is not about surviving the market. It's about surviving yourself. It's about outlasting your own impatience, your own doubt, your own need for immediate validation. It's about showing up day after day even when progress is invisible, even when effort feels wasted, even when quitting seems logical. Because on the other side of this stage is something most traders never experience. Not just profitability, but sustainability. Not just winning, but the ability to keep winning. Not just success, but the psychological foundation to handle success without destroying it. You are closer than you think. The fact that you're feeling this pain means you care enough to keep going. The fact that you're frustrated means your standards are rising. The fact that you're still here means you haven't given up, and that's all you need to do right now. Don't give up. Don't walk away. Don't let the hard stage convince you that you're not capable. Survive it. Endure it. Trust that beneath the surface, in places you can't see, you're being transformed. Trust that the person you're becoming is worth the pain of getting there. Trust that this stage, this brutal, exhausting, invisible stage, is the exact thing that will make your future success possible. Because it is. And when you finally break through, when consistency starts to appear, when trading starts to feel calm instead of chaotic, you'll look back at this moment and you'll realize something powerful. This wasn't the stage that almost broke you. This was the stage that made you.